Zach, you guys are facing off against the Boston Bruins for the second time in just over a week and a half. Maybe what were some of the main takeaways from last Monday, and what makes them so good?
Well, I think what makes them good is they just find ways to win, right? I mean, you don't always have your best, but they seem to find a way to win most of those games, right? So they're on record-setting pace, obviously. And yeah, I thought the game we played against them was competitive, and we were right in it, but they found a way to win. So it'll be a good test for us again tomorrow.
You guys highlighted this 7-game stretch. You guys have gone 3-2 so far in this 7-game stretch. How do you guys want to close it out, and how would you assess the first 5 games of this important 7-game stretch?
Yeah, it's obviously every game now down the stretch is important. So playing against Boston, who's top of the league, and then Toronto, who's right behind them for the next 2 games, right? So 2 huge tests for us, and you want to be playing against the best teams.
You've seen David Pastrnak a lot over your career. What have you learned over the years in terms of seeing him as an opponent?
Yeah, I have a couple of playoff series against those guys. I think Pastrnak is obviously a really elite offensive player, and I think one of the underrated things that he does is he's really competitive, and he's actually physical and strong on the puck, and that probably goes a little bit unnoticed because of his shot and his ability to score, but playing against him a ton, you notice that he competes hard.
So they have a really good goal differential in the third period, and you guys have seen it. So what is it about them that is able to turn it on in the third period?
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're winning a ton, so I would assume that they have leads going into those thirds, right? So when you have leads going into the thirds and you're as good at winning as those guys, you clamp down on defense, and then you probably catch another team cheating and trying to catch up, and they probably are able to put other teams away. And I don't know, but I haven't watched them too much. We only played them the one time, but that would be my thought on it.
Having played against them in the past and now, what do you notice different in terms of, is it personnel, is it structure, and why are they winning more now than they did in the past?
Honestly, hard to answer because we only played them once. If I was in the East, I'd be able to give you a better answer, but just finding ways to win, I would guess. Like I said, I don't watch them too much, but the record speaks for himself.
Evander Kane possibly coming back tomorrow. Why does this team look different when he's playing for them?
Oh, how many goals did he score for us? So you're adding that to the lineup, and then
Not just
I think
goals.
I'm getting there. And then obviously his presence, physicality, and just a big strong guy, gets on the forecheck, hits guys, does those things that you need to do later down in the year and in the playoffs to be successful.
Zach, I know you're a Michigan guy, University of Michigan, but how cool is it to kind of switch up the setting for practice to come back to a college barn like this?
Yeah, played against these guys once when I was in school, and then we've practiced a couple times whenever we're in Boston. Yeah, it's always fun, and it's college rink, college facilities, but they got top-end facilities, great gym, and yeah, it's nice.
But not as much character as Yost, right?
Of course not. Come on, Ann Arbor's the place to be.
Zach?
Sorry, just going back to Evander for a second. I mean, you guys have 17, I think, games left to get him not back up and running. He's had some time, obviously, but do you think this is a real chance to get your team kind of galvanized for down the stretch?
Yeah, we talked about it after the deadline. This is your team. Not much is going to change. So adding Evander to the fold, he's missed some time obviously this year with a couple different injuries, but to have him back and to have time before playoffs, I think is really important. There's nothing like a game-like conditioning and game-like scenario, so it'll be good for him to get back in the fold when he does, and it'll be fun.
One more question for me. You're a veteran. You know what it takes to succeed in this league. Stuart Skinner still finding his ways. His rookie year, putting up some great numbers. What is it about his approach to the game, his mindset, his work ethic that's allowing him to see so much success?
Yeah, I think he's a rookie, but he's a lot more mature. He's very mature for his age, I would say, and very methodical in his process. And I think his ability to reset after every game and just be consistent has been huge for us, and just a big goalie who moves really well. So I think it's been fun to watch him progress from last year to this year. And for the other guys, I've seen him a little bit longer, but I've seen him for 2 years, and the strides he's made over those 2 years are phenomenal.
I just wanted to ask you real quick. Brad Marchand was asked about Connor. I know you've often spoken of Connor, and this morning he said, listen, we're fans too. We're seeing one of the best ever. He's incredible. You've been around Connor a couple of seasons. Do you feel like that just people are starting to really think of this guy as being like not just great now, but someone who historically will be possibly in the top, whatever, 5, 10 number you want to pick?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say. I think Connor's an extremely humble guy. He'll never put himself in that category. But I think around the league, guys realize how good he is and kind of the gap between him and everybody else. And I think for the guys that you're referring to, the generational type players, that's kind of the same gap that there is with those guys, right? So I think what Connor wants most is to win, and I think that's the next step. Is he's got all those personal awards, and he continues to push himself every single day. But as a team, we gotta go and get there for him, and he's been driving the bus the whole year, and is a huge part of where we are.
What are the attributes off the ice that drive him? Obviously, we see everything that he does on the ice, but why? Well, how is he able to do what he's been able to do consistently?
Yeah, I train with him in the summer. I think he's, if you're as talented as he is, there's an element of, God-given talent. But I think in order to maximize it, you have to have the same level of determination and effort. And I think he has that in spades. I think out of anybody I've trained with or worked with, he's the most dedicated and at pushing himself to be the best version of himself. And that's why you see him progress and get better every year. So he just continues to get better because he's the one who's driving.